Hello and welcome to Stamford Bridge, where the Swindon Town Swoodly-Poopers are taking on Chelsea Football Club, one of our many hated rivals. This is, of course, one of the best paid, best funded teams in the Premier League, as opposed to Swindon Town, which is by far the poorest team in the Premier League. Stamford Bridge, a stadium that holds like 50,000 people. The County Ground, a stadium that holds 12,000. Really excited to be here today. Scott McBeanie is our referee. We are a little bit hindered. I have update news on Bald John Green. He is injured. However, he should not be out long. In fact, he could be back as soon as the next game. So that's great news. It could have been a lot worse. We're grateful that he's okay. It's an ankle injury, but he should recover quickly. So we are starting today D. McGoldrick, who still doesn't have a satisfactory nickname. There's been a lot of good ideas, but I don't think I've been able to settle on just one yet. If there's one that you particularly like, upvote it. Also, please tell me what to talk about in these videos. I like to talk about things that you want me to talk about. Hold on, I got it. There we go, balanced. That's where I like to be. That's not a foul. You know what? It's possible for a person to hug legs without fouling. I want to talk today about some of my earliest writing projects, like not the ones that I did when I was, 9 or whatever, but the ones that... Have I mentioned that it's raining in England? It is. But the ones that I did in high school and college, and the ways in which they did and did not shape my later writing life, and what I've used and what I haven't used. Oh, there's been an injured player, and the Swindon Town Swoodly-Poopers are class. Yeah, sorry. Nicholas Anelka's been hurt. Oh, boy, I hope he's okay. I just hope he's not out for long. He's a nice guy. But, boy, they have a lot of stars on their team. Frank Lampard, Solomon Kalou, Michael Essien, Boy Gavay. All right. Hopefully we'll do okay here. But it's the new Swindon Town. Even with McGoldrick, obviously we'd like to have the John Green starting against Chelsea. But even with McGoldrick, it's the new positive Swindon Town that understands that it's not going to be easy, and hopefully that's going to carry us through today. So when I was in high school, I wrote several stories, most of which were pretty bad, but I mean, they were all bad in various ways, but they are sort of instructive in the way that what I ended up being interested in as a writer. The two major stories I wrote one story about a kid who, bear in mind that I went to high school in Alabama, and like a lot of people who live in Alabama, I really romanticized Alabama. So I wrote this story about a kid whose entire... Peter Cech is a really good keeper. His entire language skills come from the only book in his home, which is the King James Bible. So he doesn't... So, he speaks in this very, King James Bible-y tone. And he also, almost a McGoldrick, he also, he doesn't know any words that aren't in the KJV. It was a little bit fantastical, I guess. Anyway, not a terrible idea for a story, but really terrible execution. So it was just, all these melodramatic things happened to this kid and blah, 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 blah. I also wrote a short story in which a firefly was a major metaphor, the light that shines at night but then goes out because they die. And I stayed interested in that. Great stop there in the back. I don't know who that was, but that was fantastic. That might have been Wellington. That was really good. Really encouraging to see, actually. So proud of the guys there. Not great movement forward. We're not, but then again, we don't need to move forward yet. We don't need to be quite in attacking mode. We've got, what a tackle. It could have been a penalty, but it wasn't because he just got nothing but ball. Great stuff. And then but the biggest story I wrote in high school was this thing called Rosenthal Square, which was about an abandoned mini mall, and the people, Wellington. Oh, that was McGoldrick, sorry. I still don't know the names of all my new players. It's like when you're a teacher, I was saying this to the guys on the bus ride over to Chelsea. It's like when you're when you're a teacher and, the first few days you just don't know yet. I'll get it. Anyway, it's that's got to be a foul. Wow. That is not the way to treat other John Green. He's a star. Maybe you didn't get the memo. they're going to say McGoldrick found somebody, which is bull. I'm not happy with Scott McBeanie. So Rosenthal Square was a story about it was. I was at the time and still very interested in the work of Kurt Vonnegut, and Rosenthal Square was a story about an abandoned mini mall, which does later feature in my work, particularly in Paper Towns. But generally, I'm fascinated by abandoned commercial structures and what they say about our attempts to, both to live in a profitable world and oh, come on, Wellington. You got to be a little, sorry, McGoldrick. You got to be a little stronger on the ball. Maybe he's not playing well because I can't ever remember who he is. Oh, that's going to get him a card. That was a very late foul. Maybe I'll be saved by halftime. I was saved by halftime. All right, so, I mean, a pretty good first half for the Swoodoo Poopers. We had a couple good chances, and I don't think Ricardo Bunsen-Burner really had to make a save. So, pretty proud of the way we're playing away to Chelsea. I mean, that's not an easy game for anybody. So, yeah, good stuff so far. Oh, you got to finish there. Other John Green, you had, I know that was your weaker left foot, but you've got, Peter Cech almost threw it into my belly. But you got to finish. You got to. Oh, that's frustrating. So Rosenthal Square was about these two gay cousins, not partners, obviously, because, they were cousins, who started a pet store in an abandoned mini mall. There was a weird thing that happened for a little while in Orlando. I don't know if it ever happened or if I was just I read a newspaper story about it and I was really fascinated about it. But it was basically about basically what happened was there was an abandoned mini mall and businesses started squatting in it. Like people set up businesses that weren't paying rent in this abandoned mini mall. And I thought that was a really fascinating. I just thought that was really interesting. I didn't even know why I found it so interesting. So there were three businesses in the abandoned mini mall in Rosenthal at this place called Rosenthal Square in Orlando on the old road to Disney World. One was this pet store owned by these two gay cousins whose names I can't remember. Phil and something. Great save there, Berna. Thank you. And one was a Christian bookstore owned by these. Owned by this couple who were sort of feeling their way around their thought. Oh, did that not go in? Jeez, that's just. I'll tell you what, Bald John Green. If Bald John Green does that, I take him out of the game, and I get very angry with him. I give him a little talking to, but that's great news. Still 0-0. But the Swoodoo Poopers really need to start attacking. Come on, McGoldrick. Yes. Not so much. Back to McGoldrick. And then into John Green, please. Oh, forcing Peter Cech into a save at least. But you still got to be proud of the boys for that nice piece of play there. One size fits all just didn't win a header, which is not realistic. He never doesn't win headers. So, basically, the owners of the Christian bookstore came to believe that they needed to build an ark because a flood was coming, and then a flood did come, and then everybody died, and that was the end of the story. And now the game is frozen in the way that it does sometimes, just to keep me on my toes. So there was a lot that was kind of promising about that story. The end was ridiculous, which a lot of people would say I haven't really gotten that much better at endings. But everything else, there was a lot going on there that had potential. And I definitely have returned to some of those same themes, in the books that I ended up writing as an adult. Because I think your interests stay the same. This was in a world where it was very different to be gay in 1994 than it is now. And so I think that was one thing. The story would feel very dated in that sense. Like, oh, come on. You're better than that. I like that you're shooting outside the box, but I'd really like to see some better finishing. We have a chance to win this game. I mean, that's the crazy thing. We're playing Chelsea away in the rain, which we're usually not very good in the rain, and we have a legitimate chance to win. So I hate to lose it. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and make the bold decision to make some substitutions. I'm taking out French Lana. I'm bringing on Mr. Pettinari. I'm going to take out Goldrick, bring on Stone Cold Steve with the C. Austin. I'm going to switch the sides of these guys, and I'm going to take out Merrick and bring on Leroy Williamson. So I may have made those substitutions too late because it's already the 86th minute, but who are we kidding? We never score before the 90th minute anyway, unless we're playing Huddersfield. Oh, we just gave up a corner kick. That's unfortunate. But it allows us to make the substitutions at least. A nice three-way substitution, just like the pros do. And we'll see if we can get some offensive momentum here. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Or just maybe not give up a goal would also be good. Come on, I passed. What part of the A button didn't you understand? Na 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 na. Lampard. You didn't get to score there. So, get it. Get it. Go. 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 Oh, I should have passed, but people always get mad at me if I pass, so I chose to shoot. But then it doesn't work when you shoot either. Nothing works. It's a 0-0 draw. Looks like another 0-0 draw. Thanks for watching. I'll talk more about my college writing projects tomorrow. Best wishes.